Sorry, do you want to take a look this way?
Yeah.
Look at you.
To Jim.
Look at me. Tate, big news personally, signing a 4-year deal to stay on with the Queensland Reds and Rugby Australia. A real commitment from both sides, really. Your commitment to being in Australia, but also the powers that be, that you're a big part of the future in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive privilege to be able to stay here for another 4 years, not only in Queensland but in Australia as well, like you mentioned before. So really grateful for the faith they've shown me across my whole career. You know, I've spent 6 years here at the Reds and I've loved every minute of it. You know, we've got plenty left to achieve though, so that was part of the motivation, as well as this new facility. There's a lot of good things happening. We've just got to transfer that onto the field.
I guess that's a big point. There's been a lot of change at the Reds, some significant players leaving, Taniela, Tupou being amongst them, but in seeing the bricks and mortar that's being put up at Ballymore here, how much is the future looking bright a part of your decision? Yeah,
it's massive for me. I mean, you know, there's no other place that I really want to be. So, you know, I could have looked at a couple of things overseas, but at the end of the day, like I said before, I haven't achieved enough here yet. A lot of fellas share the same mindset as well. So in terms of the future, not only do we have this new facility, we'll have new players, you know, and there'll be a lot to come in the next couple of months. But I mean, the boys that are here, they're eager to stay. They're eager to pull on that jersey. A lot of boys that came through with me are still here. Signing long-term deals. You know, we've had a couple this week, we might have a couple next week as well, and I think that speaks volumes of just Ballymore in general. You know, whilst we haven't put our best performances in on the field, you know, the willingness to play for Queensland and that you know, environment that we've had here for a number of years is, you know, largely to the reason that a lot of boys want to commit to this club and want to commit to the future as well.
So someone like Harry Wilson has done the same thing. That's a strong show of his intent as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, someone like Harry would have had big offers overseas. You know, you hear a lot about it, and for him, he loves Queensland. You know, personally, he's not the only one that loves Queensland, but he's by him staying, you know, speaks volumes about the team we want to be and the team that, you know, the players are willing together and pull together to make it the team that we see it as.
Sort of a mix of fortunes this week for you to sign this deal, but in the same week not be included in the 33-man Wallabies training squad. The first one picked by Eddie Jones. What were your emotions after that?
Yeah, obviously pretty disappointed, but at the same time it was expected. I mean, you know, excluding that Crusaders game, I haven't played amazing footy, so you know, to be in that squad probably would have been a surprise more than anything. So there's plenty of footy. At the end of the day, it's just a training camp, and you know, whilst initially obviously pretty disappointed, the conversation with Eddie around just got to sharpen up really, and it was as simple as that. There wasn't too much other stuff, but I appreciate honesty like that. So Eddie's been really good along the journey, and I know better than most people. I got to improve if I want to be there. I want to be at Friends at the end of the year. So for me, my focus is just playing the best footy and getting back on the paddock.
Right. Are you able to elaborate on any of the areas he particularly mentioned?
It was pretty brief, to be honest. So, you know, I think sharpen up generally includes the variety of things and probably most facets of my game. Obviously, my strength has always been the running side, so I showed that against the Crusaders, but, you know, probably what we've touched on in the past, the bread and butter elements of my game, just got to sharpen up a little bit. And, you know, I'm confident that'll come with games, so show that on the weekend. Obviously, I can sharpen up kicking a little bit, but you know, overall I was pretty happy with the Crusaders, and I've just got to build on the back of that and show Eddie a bit more what I'm capable of.
Yeah, I guess first game against the Hurricanes in front of Eddie, there's one banged out on the full there, and then the flip side is a really good heads-up grubber for Geordie to score on the weekend, where it was just on the run, where you sighted the space and had a perfect kick. How important is it to get the consistency that perhaps that doesn't show in those two cases?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big one, isn't it? Consistency. I think for me, I know I can kick well. I just get my calculations wrong sometimes when they go out. And I showed that earlier on. The kicking's been better. I had a couple charged down the weekend, but overall, you know, I know, you know, my confidence is around. I've actually got a good kick. I've just got to take that on the field with me from the training paddock. So, I mean, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get it to where it needs to be, and it's just a matter of chucking it on the field now.
Thorny talks of your devotion to the Reds, and I guess punters see you as a guy with a huge smile when you win and completely filthy when you lose a game, and that honesty is something that endears you to the Reds fans. I mean, how much does Queensland mean to you?
Yeah, it's very special, mate. It's my home, really. I want to defend it at all costs. So, I mean, when we're winning, of course, I'm going to be smiling. At the same time, I'm thinking about how we can get better. And then on the flip side, when we're under the pump, I'm a proud Queenslander. I don't like losing. No one likes losing, but I hate it. So for me, mate, I just want to get better. I want this club to get better. We're not happy with where we are at the moment, and if I can be a small piece in driving that forward and getting this group hungrier every day, then so be it. So that's about it.
There were signs of improvement against the Crusaders in parts, but also some of the handbrakes the teams had the whole season. How big's this Brumbies encounter, which has been a really big rivalry game the last few years?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we love playing the Brumbies, regardless of if it's in Brisbane or in the capital. So for us, we show up with that mindset. We're looking to play a positive brand, but a disciplined brand. That's been the buzzword the whole year, actually, for a couple of years, really. But to be disciplined, we've got to be aggressive. But we need that controlled aggression, which we haven't had. So it's not just the forwards thing, it's the backs thing as well. We'll show up for Queensland, but we've got to make sure that when we say we're going to do something, we've got to actually do it. Otherwise, there's no point opening our mouths. So, like you said, a couple of signs of improvement against the Crusaders, against what was a depleted outfit, but they still got All Blacks across the park, and a couple of boys really showed up. The challenge this weekend is not a couple. We need 23 men in maroon showing up for their state, ready to go to war.
I guess you're playing in a position where there's two Wallaby halfbacks or Wallaby training squad halfbacks in the other team. It's not hard to draw the dots together and think that you'd be keen to have a good game against Nick White and Ryan Lonergan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't really want to have a good game just because they're playing. I want a good game for myself and for my state. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, there's one Wallaby halfback playing. But yeah, mate, I'm just looking forward to, like I said before, putting in a good performance and backing up the consistency off the back of last week's performance.